Namaste, beautiful soul. This is one of the most important messages because I'm sharing the 7 stages to spiritual awakening. And once you understand these stages, you're going to be able to accept more of yourself, which brings in more love, and it is profoundly life-changing. So I'm going to go through them. I've sat here and channeled each one because I've gone through them and I'm going through them. And I know that many of you are seeking support with the spiritual awakening process to deeply understand what's happening. So first of all, I want to say sorry that I haven't been making lots of videos lately, but I was teaching Reiki level 1 and just really diving in deep and supporting everyone who was going through the spiritual awakening journey with me. If you are interested in doing the training with me, please email me. I'll include my email below so that I can put you on the list for when I teach it again in the future. So right now I'm bringing through a lot of light because I've just been attuning everyone to open up their own channel to light. And with this high frequency light, not only will you hear the words and have the understanding, but you may feel things. What the intention and the energy comes through with this video is also that you have aha moments and that things click into place so that you don't just intellectually understand, but that you deeply know. And so first of all, I want you to know that there's no destination. The journey of spiritual awakening is the joy, even though sometimes it is incredibly painful and extremely hard. It's the actual process that is what we're wanting to go through. We're not trying to achieve a future goal or a destination that would rush you through something which is so miraculous. So what also you need to know is that you might go from stage 1, 2, 3, and then you go up to 4, maybe into stage 5, and then you find yourself back in stage 3, and then back in stage 5, and then you have a glimmer of stage 6, and then you go into stage 7, and then you're back in stage 6. This is normal. This is normal. And it's not meant to be like stage 1, 2, 3. It is a, yes, you do go from one to the next, but you can move up and down, and that's how it flows. So as you listen, I would love to hear which stage you're currently in, because when you start to recognize it, you'll feel it. There'll be a knowing, and then share in the comments with us all where you're at, what you're experiencing. Oh, interesting. The lights have just gone off. Oh, and they're back on. Wow, it's amazing how the signs of the universe, at the same time there's a bird outside right by the window actually wanting to come in with this frequency. So we're getting signs already that this is one of the most powerful videos you may ever watch. Yeah, I got goosebumps. It's so amazing. Okay, at the end, I'm also going to give you a tool which is huge. It helps you massively to be able to really embrace the present moment and to work deeply with the awareness, consciousness, the light that you truly are. Okay, so level stage number 1 is you're asleep. You're attached to the character, so you believe you're the character, you believe you are your ego, so every thought you have happens to you, every emotion you have, you feel strongly, you are attached to the 3rd dimensional world, material objects. You're run and driven by the ego, which is often a lot of fear. It's either fear or love. It's either running towards love and attaching to needing more love, and often that can happen by needing other people to mirror love to you or to give you love, or it could be that you feel fearful of that you don't have enough and you need more, you need to fill things, and it doesn't feel safe on earth. So you're pushed by fear and you're running towards love, and it's very much attached to the emotions, to your mind, and to this third dimensional experience. Sometimes it can be absolutely glorious. You can be just so happy and having wonderful 3D experiences, and then you might find yourself wanting more of those experiences and attaching to them, craving them, and then you'll experience the lows. When you go up to the highs, you experience the lows. It's a roller coaster, and then you'll find yourself feeling depressed or sad or angry or anxious or some of the lower frequency emotions. And yeah, you go up and down with it. So life is happening to you at this stage. The lens of perception is based on all prior conditioning, based on your previous traumas, your past experiences. And so you find yourself, you are reacting to life rather than consciously being able to respond. You are just reacting. So something will happen, you'll be triggered by it and you'll react to it. And there's no pause or break between you and your thoughts and your emotions and your actions. It's just all one. Something happens, you react. You are the character. So that's what it's like when you're asleep. Then the next stage is stage 2, waking up for the very first time. Something inside of you says, hold on, there's something more. I can't just be these thoughts and these emotions, this character. There's got to be something more. And often this can happen because you've absolutely had enough. You've been depressed forever, for so long. You've been so sad, or you've been anxious for so long that you just cannot take it. Like enough is enough. Or you have something terrible happen, like a traumatic experience, which is hugely traumatic, and it causes you to start to search for something else, greater meaning to life. And you start to pray, or you start to ask, like, where is God, or angels, or the universe, help me, I need help. And it could be that you have a massive, beautiful spiritual experience. It doesn't all have to be negative. So it could be that you go to a meditation and all of a sudden you start seeing the eye of the universe with your eyes closed, and you go into it and there's no longer fear and you feel loved and held. Or you do a breathing exercise where you expand out of your body and you feel the oneness of all. Or you do like plant medicines, or you have a Reiki session and the person's able to feel you and see you, and then all of a sudden you're able to see you, and you have miraculous, profound healings and releasings and understandings. So it can be something profoundly spiritual that expands you and wakes you up, or it could be something really challenging and difficult. It could also be a near-death experience where you actually realize, whoa, I'm out of my body and I'm still alive. So if you've had any one of these experiences as your wake-up call, I would love to hear. Write in the comments. We'd all love to hear. The community, you can all go and read everyone else's waking up experience. And if you haven't had this yet, you're watching this video, so it's coming your way. So that's the second stage. And I just want to say here that each spiritual journey of awakening is unique. Do not compare yourself with anyone else. It is your journey. It is consciousness having a unique experience through you. So embrace it, embody it. It's specially for you. So then we go into the third stage, which can be quite intense. Many call it the dark night of the soul or death of the ego. It's layered. It can take years. You don't have to just stay in the stage. You can have a strong moment at this stage, then go to the next level. And then you might find yourself back here many times. Why you find yourself back here many times is because we move in a spiral moving forward. Meaning that there are some deep traumas, there are some strong belief patterns and things that your ego identifies with and clings to, which are your lessons, your learning points. Like if you have a physical ailment, a physical dis-ease, pain in your body that you've had for years, that is your go-to, your learning center. That is the place in which you can truly embody and embrace and learn through. And there will be hundreds or maybe thousands of lessons and things that you can release and experience through that area of your body, through that area of your mind, through that dark night of the soul. And when you go through it once, you release so many layers and so much energy that was like blocking you from the light of consciousness that you are, and you will release it. And then maybe a few months later or weeks later, you find yourself, oh my gosh, I'm processing the same thing again. Why? It's the same thing, but it's different because you've already released layers. You're going deeper now. There's more layers to show themselves. You know, if you think about how many years it takes to create a belief pattern, and then every time you keep believing it, and it'll be many times a day that you believe it. It takes time to form it, and it becomes so strong, it becomes part of your identity. So it takes time to dissolve it. So be patient and kind with yourself. So what starts to happen at this level, one starts to question one's beliefs. You start to create space between you, what you are, and these beliefs, these thoughts, these emotions. Because you realize you're not the mind, you're not the emotions, you're something else. You're this awareness that's able to observe and notice it all. And so you actually have the space between you and the patterns and the prior conditions and the habits and the fears. You have a space between you because you are observing it. And you realize that the mind's not you. It starts to release its grip over you. It starts to let go, and you start to dissolve these patterns. And at this stage, you realize you're not the character that's been playing this role all the time. You're not the character. You are something else. You are something so bright, so light, that is so determined to dissolve all of these beliefs and all of these patterns that have kept you held. You see, on earth for so long, we've just been a pattern of our parents. We've been whatever they are. So, whatever they were conditioned with, all their fears and worries and anxieties about life on earth, we've been fed that by them, and then we've been showing up as that. But now it's happening. More and more people are globally waking up. And as this massive global awakening is happening, individually we're taking responsibility for the self, and we are waking up, and we're going, no, hold on, I don't want to just be a pre-programmed something that's unconscious. I want to be conscious of what I'm doing here on earth. I want to be alive and awake in this mind-made dream, because this place, it's a dream world. It's not the reality. And so this is what starts to happen as you wake up. You realize this is a dream I'm creating through my mind. Every thought I have, and the ones that I believe in, have strong emotional energy, and it's that emotional current that sends out frequency waves and magnetizes in your experience. But it's all imaginary. It all happens through the mind. None of this is real. And that's what you start to realize. This isn't real. There's something else that's real, and you want to find that something else that's real and true. And so you become determined to dissolve everything that you're not. You want to unlearn everything that's not true. The less you know, the more you are. You've been taught things. You've been carrying other people's beliefs. You want to dissolve it all. So there'll be many a night or day where you find yourself crying, releasing emotion that's been trapped in your system, crying or feeling strong emotion or feeling the fear and it's strong in your system, but something inside of you says, it's okay. Just sit with it, be with it, hug yourself. You're going to get through this. There's a light inside of you that's so bright that will get you through every dark night of the soul, that will dissolve every ego layer that's been holding you. And you just move through it layer and layer, remembering the light that you are is what dissolves these patterns. Just by seeing the patterns, they start to dissolve and they're released from you. It is that powerful. So what you're actually doing is you're dissolving yourself. You're dissolving the identity, the personality, everything you've been clinging to. You're dissolving everything ego-based. But there's something else that's there. The real, true you. Consciousness that's been here all along. That's been vibrating deep inside the cells of your body. Maybe you can feel it now. That's been hidden by all these layers. And you start to feel this light and this energy starting to come out because you're no longer so dense and heavy. It cracks through. And you start to feel a little bit lighter and lighter and lighter. So for myself, an entry point for me has been, I've been told that I've got pre-cancer on my forehead and my nose. And when I was first told that, I absolutely broke down and I started to see layers of ego and mind, and some of the layers that I've been dissolving and working through have all been because of this. And so there's such gratitude and acceptance. Like, if I get cancer, I get cancer. Like, there's no more fear of death or anything. It's acceptance and love, and like, wow, this is how I'm learning. And so there's so much love here. And I've learned that there was a fear because my mom told me when I was younger that I'm going to get cancer because I love lying out in the sun. So I had to dissolve that. And then there was another energy here where my skin had built more skin over itself to protect itself because when I was younger, I was so mean to myself, and I'm sure many of you can understand this. The thoughts in my mind were just putting me down and saying that I'm not beautiful, I'm not good enough. And so all of those layers have been able to be seen, and I've been dissolving them. And I've had resistance about spending money on me, and I just rather spend on others or give to others and put myself last. And I got this message, this download that rose oil is what I need and self-love is what I need to heal. And that this is my journey and to accept everything. And so now I'm using rose oil, and rose oil is one of the most expensive, and I've had to like really put myself first. So can you see? This is just one area, and that's quite a few patterns and examples of what I'm learning and what I'm dissolving through this area. So embrace the part of you that you are learning through, and the more you accept, the deeper you'll go on your spiritual journey. It's all healing means coming back to wholeness, the wholeness that you already are. It's here already in the present moment. It is not something outside of you that you've got to achieve and seek. There's no goal. You are already wholeness. You are already consciousness. It's about coming home to the present moment. And the only way you can get home to the present moment is by emptying. And the way to empty is going through and seeing all of those layers that are not you and dissolving them. So that brings us to the fourth level and stage of space. The more you dissolve, the more space that's created, and you start to really become the observer, observing all of those patterns, and the light that you are is shining on the patterns. When there's a shadow and light shines on it, it dissolves. So before it was a room that was super cluttered, and now as you shine the light in the room, things are moving out and the room's becoming more spacious. Now you can walk around the room. There's more space in your mind to have inspiration and feel your soul and feel consciousness. So also what happens here is instead of taking on more beliefs, instead of going and trusting what other people are saying about spiritual awakening, you start to trust that voice, that deep master, the wise one that's inside of you, consciousness that's inside of you. And the more you trust in that inner voice, that inner wisdom, the more you develop your intuition, your psychic ability, and life becomes more synchronistic, and miracles start to really show up, and you see every miracle, even uncomfortable challenges and experiences, everything you recognize, oh my gosh, this is all happening for me, through me. This is my reality. This is my mind-made dream. I'm the creator. I've been creating all along, and now I'm dissolving these patterns. I'm no longer creating from lower frequency fear and worry. I'm creating from this higher expanded frequency of my soul. So it's amazing. And so you don't actually take on more beliefs. Instead, you're coming into a space of knowing it for yourself, wanting to experience it for yourself, rather than add more beliefs and add more thoughts into the space. You want to stay in the space, and you're no longer scared of nothing and darkness and emptiness and spaciousness, because when you're sitting in it and there's no mind and little moments of no mind and just being aware, then you realize that the space is so filled with love and warmth. And so you start to be in the space more and more. And you become the observer of life that is happening through this body, and you're observing the mind. And you now understand that the mind is not you. You were never the character. You were always the awareness, that light that has been focusing on the character. And by focusing your light on the character, you animate the character, and you animate the thoughts and the beliefs, and that creates your reality. So now you're retracting awareness from the character and the ego and the fear, and you're drawing awareness to the body, which lives only in the present moment. And so you're living in the present moment more and more, and you have these moments where you're just like, whoa, I'm in a dream world. I'm in a movie. This is incredible. And then you get to like know, and you have to really do this by yourself. You get to know that everything that's here in this mind-made reality is divinely perfect. The good, the bad, the highs, the lows, all of it's perfect, because it is part of the awakening journey. You had to go through it to get here. And that everybody else is playing their role perfectly. Even if they're triggering you, even if they're asleep, that's their journey. Consciousness doesn't want to have the same experience twice. It's consciousness having many different experiences. So you come more and more into a state of acceptance, and a state of love starts to arise, just loving everything as it is. It's divinely perfect. Destiny is already unfolding as it's meant to. So you can let go of trying to control it with your mind. It's already flowing. Relax into the river of life. Let it take you. There's less pushing from the ego to try achieve. And there's more of this space where you go, well, let's feel and see what comes up. And in that space, there's an arising of your higher self, your soul, which then gives you inspiration into your next action and experience here on earth. So also in this stage of being the observer, you notice when you have an emotion of fear. And it's interesting because whereas before you would have reacted and acted on the fear, and now there's space. And so you just notice the fear, you notice where you feel it in the body, and you give yourself space to sit with it, to breathe through it, so that it's no longer trying to push you and drive you into action, but rather you give it space and you accept it and you go, there you are, there you fear, and I'm just observing you and breathing through you. You meditate on it. Meditation means having awareness of it, allowing it. You're not resisting and running away from it. And when you sit and allow it, it bubbles up to the surface. It's fully seen. You see all the programs and beliefs that were attached to it, and it dissolves and it releases out of you. And then you notice emotions like anger and anxiousness, and you notice that there's a detachment here. It's not, I am angry. It's, there's the emotion of anger arising within me. And so, for example, I've sat with anger, and I sat by myself in the room, and I felt it as fire in my pelvis. And as I sat with it, it started to rise up, and then I was crying and shaking and sweating, and making sounds, and then the next minute it changed. When we allow something to be seen and held, it then shifts, and it turned into another emotion, and it became sadness, and then it shifted and shifted, and then all of a sudden I noticed that I was no longer breathing. I was in 3 different locks. My pelvis was like clenched, my stomach, my throat, and then I heard the angel say, "She's come back home. She can hear us now." And my whole body was vibrating with light. I was now crying tears of joy, and I was expanded into a state of bliss. So such a strong emotion like anger has the ability, it's a key, when you sit with any emotion, to release itself and turn into its polarity, which for me in that moment was bliss and such love. So at this stage, sit with what is, because being the observer and accepting is going to help you to completely dissolve everything that's showing up, and you're going to be in the spaciousness. So then the 5th stage is deeper understanding, and you start to notice that there's a bit of a split. There's 2 voices in the head. And the deeper understanding in this stage, you're still maintaining awareness, and you're dissolving layers and layers of the ego. And while this is happening, you are becoming inspired to find out what the truth is. So you're starting to feel a deeper connection to your soul. You're starting to feel a deeper connection to God, to consciousness, and you're more awake, and you just want to learn more. You want to understand more. You want to go deeper. And so you find other teachers that have already gone through this, that are sharing about it. And when they speak, you have these aha moments, and you feel it in your body. You can sense it. There's like energy, and you might hear frequencies through your ears. You might be seeing things through your closed eye or through your open eyes. You might be seeing frequencies and colors, and you might be smelling different things, tasting different things, knowing different things. Your senses become more alive because there's more space. Consciousness, the light that you are, is able to be embodied. So you're raising your frequency, and you can have some profound spiritual experiences, but do not attach to them, because they're still 3D and they're not you. If you attach to anything, you're clinging with the ego, and you're coming back down to a lower frequency. Just allow whatever's in the field to happen. That is the flow of consciousness, is allowing and being present with what is. So you may find wonderful teachers, read books, listen to podcasts, and all of this starts to crack through, and it like expands the mind. Your mind actually starts firing and wiring in a more expanded way. And you start to trust your own inner wisdom. You might start to what one would call channeling, or having deeper wisdoms and truths speaking through you. So at this phase, you want to be writing down everything that's channeling through you, so that you can reread this profound messages of the inner master that is you, that is inside of you, that's always been here. And then you may be called to meditate daily. Meditation means awareness. So if you sit in sitting meditation, you're observing the sensations in your body, you're observing when the mind comes up with a thought, you're just observing everything, and then you carry that meditation into everything that you do. Meditation becomes a way of life. You are the awareness, eating the food, taking action, thinking. You are the awareness. And you're uncovering the essence of you by being present in the here and the now. So you're able to find yourself being more and more present. Then the 6th stage is the crumbling of the old self. And here you really start to recognize those 2 voices, the higher self, the higher mind, which is the highest frequency you can get to before you go back into non-duality, the oneness. So in this level, you are able to access higher wisdoms and truths. Your mind is so expanded and open, it's less like attached and closed. And so you're able to channel, to connect with angels, to connect with guides. And at this phase, you will also notice that you have this other voice, the ego, which still has residue fear, and actually what it starts to happen is because you're dissolving it so much, now you've got like 5 fingers clinging on to its life, and it gets sometimes more intense because it does not want to let go of its identity. It doesn't want to dissolve. It doesn't want to die. The ego doesn't want to die. And it will bring up things like, no, this is too much, you're channeling too much light. Or it will say, I'm scared of death, don't do that. And it will get stronger. And sometimes here, you'll see some of your biggest fears, your darkest worries, because you're getting closer to consciousness. And so the ones that have really kept you encapsulated will be seen. And so you will be shining your light, but you'll have something so strong inside of you just to get through it. And you'll notice the split. You'll notice that there's 2 answers to every question. There's answering from the level of consciousness, oneness. So from the level of consciousness, this is just a mind-made reality. It's not real. And the only truth is the oneness, is consciousness, and everything else it's a dream. And so from that level, nothing is true, and the only truth is the oneness. And so there is nothing to believe in. Then from the level of the mind, there is, and once you truly are able to be in consciousness, but then realize, wow, I am consciousness, and I've created a mind so that I can know myself. Because oneness cannot know itself if it's one. So it's created a secondary experience so that it can know itself. And through you being in this mind-made dream, you're getting to know yourself. And so the experiences you're having are of consciousness through a mind. And so from the level of the mind, the answer is different. From the level of the mind, yes, you do have free will, and yes, there is, you are able to manifest and create, but pay attention from how you are doing it, because is it the ego that's running you from prior conditions and fear? Or are you sitting in the stillness and a great inspiration arises from your higher self, your soul, where you're still separate, and then it arises from you, and then you get to experience and create from that level. So you notice the split, and it can be very uncomfortable sometimes because you, the mind is clinging, and it's telling you one thing, and it's controversial. It's like, well, if this is not real and this is all a mind-made dream, then why should I even make efforts? Like, why should I show up? Like, mustn't I just surrender and relax and trust in the oneness? And like, why should I even be the character? And I asked that, and that's still, you're still in the mind when that's happening, because it's the mind trying to understand something that it cannot understand. The rest of this process has to be done through personal experience, and you will get through it. You'll crack through the mind trying to hold on and understand. It cannot understand this. The mind, it's doing all its work by breaking through all the egoic patterns and dissolving all those layers. But at this level, you just have to trust and keep meditating, and something's going to happen where you just all of a sudden experience it, and you come back into the oneness, and it all makes sense. There are no more questions when you're back in the oneness. And then you're able to come back into this duality again, but you are the non-dual oneness, and you're so conscious and aware that you're able to really then enjoy being the character, and you do it from such a spacious, awakened, aware place. So I just want to make sure that I'm telling you everything, that I've written so much down, especially with this level. It is a powerful one. So the more and more as the beliefs dissolve, the emptier you become, and the ego attempts to try to maintain its identity. And it's your deep light and courage and strength will get you through it, and it will dissolve all these layers. And sometimes it can feel like a massive conflict, because there's part of you that's surrendering and letting go and trusting, and then there's a part of you going, wait, I need to understand this, I need to cling to this, I'm not letting go of my ego, I can't do this. And so you keep going through that. You notice a discomfort inside of you. You might have physical discomfort, emotional discomfort, and then a massive shift happens, And you may then find yourself changing jobs, changing career, you lose friends and you find different friends, different community. You go through emotional roller coasters, but it's not you going through them. They're happening and you're just aware of them. And you're observing all the old emotions as they bubble up and release out of your system and set you free, and you feel lighter. You may experience ascension symptoms at this level. And what this is because you're releasing old patterns and the body was so used to carrying that type of energy, it's now has to get used to no longer having that energy. So it's recalibrating to the new energy. Also, once you've released lower frequency energy, you carry more light, and so the body has to adjust to more light. And so sometimes you can have tinnitus or your eyes deteriorate, but actually what's happening is they're giving you like further distance so you can see more. You might have like physical parts of the body that are doing massive releasing and upgrades. You might have like a cold or a pressure, or sometimes I get so dizzy or my whole body's vibrating, or I feel massive pressure in the head, and then everything will just turn into violet light, and then it disappears and everything's energy for a moment, and then it comes back into form. So some incredible things can be happening. Do not be scared, keep going. So you might also have like heat, cool, tingling, goosebumps. All of it is welcome. It means you are ascending. You are being able to hold higher frequency in your body. And this is what I teach part of Reiki and my Reiki courses is for you to be able to hold this light and to ascend. So you don't need to take anyone else's word for it. You actually start to get to experience it for yourself. And yeah, you are consciousness, and the mind starts to take a back seat. The mind becomes more of a narrator, and it's observing, and it's less controlling and talking and pushing you. And the mind becomes interested in what you're experiencing. And in the past, it would have run the whole system. Now it's like curious, and it's like, oh, this is interesting. You become more and more aware of this dream world, and you know that your heart and your mind is made up from consciousness. It is all consciousness. So when I was contemplating no longer existing, and I was going through this like split, and I was like, well, I understand intellectually that I need to completely dissolve myself and I'm no longer the character, but I don't quite get it. And so when I was in this phase, I was using my mind so much to try and understand it, but you actually can't use the mind. And so at this point, I actually disappeared from Instagram. I woke up one morning, my Instagram had gone. It's still there now, it's come back. It's Natalie Namaste _ in case you want to find me and enjoy my community. And my website disappeared. My email stopped working. I ordered a phone twice, it wouldn't arrive. I actually was disappearing. And because I was using my mind so much, but it was good in the way that I was using my mind to dissolve all the patterns. That was really powerful. But that belief of like, I need to disappear in order to be consciousness was a strange belief that my mind had taken on. You see, it was another belief that it had taken on. It was trying to cling to something else. It was scared of the unknown. The ego is scared of the unknown, but the unknown is the space. It's the dark light, it's the emptiness, it's God, it's consciousness. And it's the ego's program to keep us away from it, but it's our destiny to come back home to it. So yeah, I wanted to share that personal experience from me, and just notice that the ego will bring up things like fear of death, and just keep going. You don't have to fully understand what's happening. Just give yourself permission to be in the emptiness and in the space, and you'll feel it, you'll experience it, and a knowing will arise. One of the dark nights of the souls for me was when I was in a 10-day silent retreat of Vipassana. On the 5th day, it's 10 days of absolute silence. No body, no eye contact, no, you can't make any gestures, or you cannot connect with anyone else. You go within yourself for 10 days and you meditate every day for hours and hours, and all you have is you and your mind. And on day 5, my mind, in the huge meditation hall, my mind said to me, Natalie, if you don't get through this, you can just go hang yourself in a hotel room like you've done in a past life. That dark voice that was inside of me made my whole body tremble. I was crying and shaking, and the teachers took me into the back because I was in a hall with 80 other people meditating. And they just held space for me, and I was allowed to feel. And when I could speak again, I said to them, this depression that I've had for years was with this dark voice. Is it over now? And they said, once you face it, once you sit with it and see it, it dissolves. I can promise you I've never had depression again. I have felt sadness, but the sadness just is like a cloud passing through the inner sky, and it passes through like happiness. It doesn't touch me. And I find the more and more deeper you come into the spiritual awakening, that you're not really emotional. I'm not excited about anything or sad about anything. I'm just love. I just love it all, but it's not even love that is attached to anything. It's just, I don't really know how to describe it in words, but I know that you'll know it when you're experiencing it. And many of you probably are. So let's see what's next. Oh yes, so there's a Zen saying that before you awaken, there's the mountain. And then you go through this awakening process where you're dissolving the ego, you're dissolving the character, you're dissolving everything. Everything must burn, everything must dissolve, everything must die, so that you can come back to the truth. Because this is a mind-made dream, it's not real. And so you're dissolving everything, and at that stage, there's no mountain, there's nothing. And then you come through out the other side, and you're fully awake, and your consciousness, you're holding all of this light and this awareness, and you're smiling from inside, and you're like, oh, there's the mountain. There's the mountain, it's still there. There's the body, it's still there. There's the character, it's still there, but it's so different because the lens of perception is so different to what it used to be. You're not a program, you are free. You've done the work to crack through anything that was limiting you, and then your mind expands and you can create unlimited thoughts, and emotions can create, and it's limitless. And that is the true creator that we are. We're creating everything through our minds. So what else can we create? And when it comes from love, when it comes from true consciousness and not from the ego, it is such a beautiful world that we are creating. That's why it's worth waking up. That's why it's worth going through it. So yeah, the mountain is still there afterwards. And for some people, you might stop here at this point. So you've done a lot of dissolving and it feels good and you're aware and you're awake. And so there's some beliefs that you love and you like being on earth. And so you want to still keep some beliefs. And so what's happening here is your lens of perception has been really, really cleaned. And you've got a clear awareness, clear lens of perception. And so you're seeing things really well. For me and for some others that are going more into like the non-dual existence of consciousness, like not believing in anything, no beliefs, like any belief is not real. It's part of a duality, and duality is not real. The only truth is consciousness, is oneness. And so then you dissolve every belief, because no belief is based on truth. Every belief comes from thought. Thought comes through the mind. And what is the mind? It's energy that's creating in this dimension. The only thing that's truth is consciousness. So if some of you are going even deeper, you've got to dissolve every single belief, even the good ones. And if you're going this deep, you are taking off the lenses, so there are no lenses at all. And then you are experiencing no mind, and you are just really present, aware, and it's really hard to describe in words because there is no thing, there's nothing here. once the mind tries to understand what it is, you're bringing it back to the third dimensional, to polarity experience through the mind. It is consciousness just being. And then you are consciousness, living. Life is living. Yeah. So I have many moments of this where I'm just, there's no thoughts and I'm not even thinking not to think, or I don't have to think, oh, I need to love and send love. Love arises, love moves through, love is what I am, love is flowing. It's like, I am what I am in any moment of that what I am. It's just the I am energy. But there's still a separation because you're still here in a body having an experience. So I don't see how you can fully be back in the oneness if you're still in a body, because you're still in a body, which means there's a separation. So what I understand is that you can get to the highest level of awareness where you are just allowing and you are with what is, and consciousness is having this experience, and then it is interpreted through the mind. And because you've done such clearing of the mind, your mind is so pure and clear that you have high frequency mind, and you're carrying high frequency, that your experience is just magnetizing in. Everything is a miracle, everything is synchronicity. And whether it's good or bad, you know, whether you fall down and break your leg, or whether you receive $1 million, it's all just an experience in a mind-made dream. It's not real, so it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. It just is. And so it feels very fluid and peaceful, and you don't have to think anything because you just are it. So you are the energy of awe and gratitude for this miracle, that you are conscious and being able to have this experience here on earth and experience yourself through the separation. So this is what starts to happen as you move between the 6th stage and into the 7th stage, and then starting to experience the 7th stage. So everything that you thought was real is not real, and you come out the other side having dissolved everything and knowing that you are the awareness. You're not the character, but you are also everything. You are the character and every character. So once again, there's that contradiction of you're none of it, but you're all of it. So from the level of consciousness, energy, light is vibrating through everything. It is everything. And then from the level of the mind, you are not the mind and you are none of it. You see the split that happens? So the deeper knowing is that there is only one, there is only oneness, and everything else is a dream, it's a show. And you're awake, having a completely different experience of it than before. And you're watching it, you're feeling it, and you're at a whole different level. The 7th stage is emergence, which we've kind of already started to touch on. So as the consciousness that you are, the oneness that you are the awareness, and you're watching the dream, you're watching the show, and it's just incredible. It's quite fun and funny, and you're kind of like you find yourself laughing at yourself, and you watch the character playing this role, and you're also being the character at the same time, and it's just beautiful. You have a powerful mind, which is an individual spark from consciousness. You are the oneness, then the oneness wanted to experience itself, so it created a spark of mind, and ever since then you've been creating more and more sparks, which are experienced through thoughts and emotions, which has created your reality. And your intuition is strong. You really trust and know the real you. Love flows naturally because love actually is the energy of acceptance. You're no longer resisting anything. You know it. So you accept the character, you accept life, and that is love. You see everyone and everything as consciousness. So you actually see yourself in everyone. There is no separation. And that is the biggest love. That's why so many of you can feel the love that arises through me that is me. Because Namaste means the light in me truly honors and sees the light in you. And that's the embodiment of what I am. So all is exactly as it's meant to be. Everyone's at a different level, and you accept that and love that. And nothing needs to change. You don't have to push or rush. And you just allow the inspiration to arise and then the next moment to happen. And then, yeah, there's this incredible feeling of oneness with it all. You see yourself in the flower, in the tree, in the bird, in the ant, in the mosquito, in the person, in someone who's triggering you. And you're able to see when a person's operating from the mind, and you're able to love that because that is part of the experience. And then everything starts to happen all at once. So at this level, you're no longer the observer. You actually become the observer, observing, and the observed all at once. So you are the experience, you are experiencing, and you are the experiencer. You're no longer split. It all happens at the same time. There is the primary oneness, consciousness, which has an arising of an experience. And you are consciousness in the arising of the experience, and then you are experiencing it. You are the experiencer, and it's all happening. You are the experience. It's all happening at the same time. And so here it's really hard to describe in words, and it's something that keep going, go further, because only you can take you here. Words cannot take you here. They might inspire something inside you, but this process is a process of trusting and going deeper and deeper. And so here is, I'm going to give you a tool. And first of all, I just want to invite you, if you resonate with me, then I invite you to join my community and subscribe to my YouTube and also my Instagram, Natalie Namaste with an underscore at the end. Join my community so you can get more love, support, channel guidance. And if you want to meet me for live sessions, my one-on-ones are really booked up. You could email me for a one-on-one session, get on a wait list, but rather come and join my group sessions. And I have a group every 11th of the month. And I have also sacred circles where we do an hour together. So I'll include the links below. You're welcome to come and work with me, be with me on your beautiful expansion back into consciousness. So here's the tool for you. Ask yourself, where am I experiencing life from right now? Where am I? Where am I? And in that moment, you are drawing yourself back to the awareness, and you're coming fully back into awareness rather than the character. You notice where you are, where you are. And it's powerful. So you can practice it throughout the day. You know, if you're talking to someone, you can be like, well, where am I right now? Where am I experiencing this right now? And you keep bringing yourself, retracting back to the expanse of consciousness, rather than being limited in the finite person and character. That is your tool. It is so powerful. Practice it and go deep with it. It's going to help you. So the incredible thing about the spiritual awakening is that you're already consciousness. And maybe your mind was trying to distract you and tell you it's in the future that you're going to be happy or find peace or find the oneness. That's not true. It's been here all along. It's here in the present moment. Oh, it is you. So find your way back to you. And a portal is through your mind, working to observe the mind, observe the body, That's another portal coming through the body, and you come back to the oneness that you are. And only you can take you there. Teachers, books, podcasts can definitely help. But in the end, to fully come back to the oneness, you have the power within you, and it's already inside of you that you are going to come home. It's your destiny. So surrender into it. Oh, so many goosebumps and energy coming through. Oh, keep going further. This process, this journey doesn't have an end. So keep going. Enjoy what comes up moment by moment. You can do it. You are doing it. And don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for it. Go out and find it yourself. I'm doing it by finding it myself. But I do sometimes like to listen to someone else because it inspires, and then I go further. So, it is nice to have that support, but in the end, it's here. It's inside of you. The answers are all within you. Yeah. So, we've come to the end. I've shared everything. I believe in you. Thank you for being here. I love you. I see you. Share with me in the comments how you are, where in the world you are, and what you're going through. Namaste.